Beginning birders often have trouble identifying sparrows. Here are two that are quite similar. The song sparrow might be found in your yard year-round. The Lincoln sparrow you may have to search for during migration in brushy areas and weedy fields. Welcome. In this video, we'll learn how to identify and separate Lincoln sparrows from song sparrows. Grab your favorite field guide and follow along with me as we identify these look-alike birds. Both song and Lincoln sparrows have boldly striped head patterns and streaked breasts. These sparrows are similar in shape. They are plump with medium bills, round heads, and longer rounded tails. They are different from the short-tailed, small-billed, raggedy-crested savanna sparrows of open grasslands. They are different from the larger and longer fox sparrows found in woodland thickets. In winter, song and Lincoln sparrows often share the same weedy habitats. They don't form flocks, though many may be spread across the same field or marsh. Before we get into the details of identifying and separating Lincoln sparrows from song sparrows, let's briefly consider their behavior, distribution, and habitat. Song sparrows are common and widespread across North America in virtually every biome south of the Arctic tundra and northern taiga forests. They leave much of Canada in winter and spend the cold season in the southern United States. But in most of the east, west, and north-central parts of the U.S., they are permanent year-round residents. They are found in numerous brushy habitats, often in damp situations: hedges, gardens, clear-cuts, road ditches, wetlands, stream sides. Song sparrows hop on the ground, eating seeds, and crawl up into the lower branches of vines and tangles. They usually stay quite near cover, into which they quickly return when startled. They fly low, with their tail pumping up and down. Song sparrows are easily coaxed out of cover and into the open with squeaking and kissing noises made with your lips. Birders call these noises pishing, as that is the main noise, along with imitation of pygmy owl whistles, that attracts the attention of many New World sparrows, chickadees, and woodland birds. Once attracted, song sparrows remain perched on the tops of low bushes, calling. Here is my example of various pishing noises. Psh, 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 pss, pss, pss. Song sparrows sing throughout most of the year. They start singing on sunny mornings in late winter. Their songs are familiar in most towns and residential areas with larger landscape bushes and hedges. The variable song usually starts with some repeated higher notes, a trill, and a jumble of following notes. You might remember the song with the mnemonic, "Madge, Madge, Madge, put on your tea kettle, please." Song sparrows have a very distinctive call. It is a hoarse, rising chimp. When they hide in the brush or grass, you may hear them give a very high-pitched alarm note, seet. Lincoln sparrows breed in high mountain meadows of the west. Elsewhere, across Canada and Alaska, they nest in brushy clearings in the forest. They often nest in willow and alder thickets near water. They migrate through all of the United States to winter in the southern states and through Mexico. Lincoln sparrows migrate in April and then again in September and October. That's when you can expect to see them. Lincoln sparrows are found in migration and winter in the same brushy, damp habitats where you find song sparrows. Roadside ditches, the edge of woodlands, weedy farm fields near dense cover, and cattail marshes or grassy wetlands are all good places to find Lincoln sparrows. The feeding behavior of Lincoln sparrows is similar to song sparrows. They hop on the ground feeding on seeds. They are more cautious, however, and rarely venture out far from cover. In fact, they are more likely to stay on the ground under bushes. Unlike the song sparrow reaction, Lincoln sparrows tend to flee from pishing. Lincoln sparrows are likely to approach quickly, give a thin alarm call, and then jump up and dart away low into the bushes and never come out again. But you may hear them calling. even if you don't see them. The call of Lincoln sparrows is a light smacking check. You may be able to discern a difference in the high-pitched alarm call from that of song sparrow. The alarm call of Lincoln sparrows is a slightly buzzy, rising Z. The alarm calls of most sparrows are so brief and high-pitched that differentiating among them may prove frustrating, if we can hear them at all. The song of Lincoln sparrow is similar to song sparrow, but more bubbly. It has been compared to the pattern of house wren and quality of purple finch. I've never heard Lincoln sparrows sing during the spring migration. All the songs I have heard have been on breeding territory in willow clumps along the shores of mountain lakes, or near melting snow puddles and the first leafy bog plants in openings in the mountains near ski resorts. Between the two, song sparrows are slightly larger, have more rounded heads, longer bills, and longer tails than Lincoln sparrows. Even so, they are shaped very similarly compared to other sparrows. Lincoln sparrows tend to raise their hind crown feathers to a peak or ragged crest, and their bills are rather slender. The brown and gray plumage coloration of song sparrows is highly variable. Southwestern desert birds are quite pale and sparsely marked. Birds of coastal Southern California have blackish breast streaks. Birds of the Pacific Northwest are smudgy and dark rusty. However, they all share the same head pattern. They have a thin, pale central or median crown stripe. The lateral crown stripe is reddish-brown. Under this is a broad gray eyebrow stripe, also called the supercilium. A flaring brown postocular stripe extends behind the eye on top of a gray auricular, or ear covert. The bottom edge of the ear covert has a thin brown line. This is the mustache stripe. Under this is a broad white or creamy submustachial stripe. The throat is white with a conspicuous broad triangle of dark feathers on each side, the lateral throat stripes. The key combination for recognizing the head of song sparrows is the gray supercilium and white throat with flaring dark brown lateral throat stripe. Song sparrows have wide, messy breast streaks that converge in the center of the breast into a messy spot. In contrast to all the variation in song sparrows, Lincoln sparrows across the continent all appear very much the same. The upper parts are brown and olive, a pleasant color not seen in any other North American bird. The crown feathers are chestnut with thin streaks of black visible at close range. The eyebrow stripe is wide and gray. The lateral throat stripe is not as wide as on song sparrows, and the white throat shows thin streaks. The striking field mark of Lincoln sparrows is the buff-colored submustachial stripe below the brown mustache stripe on the lower ear covert. This same buff color, a pale golden orange or pale yellow ochre, extends across the upper breast and sides and is streaked with very fine, crisp, blackish streaks. The belly is clean and white. The most striking plumage differences between these sparrows are these. Song sparrows have flaring lateral throat stripes and messy breast streaks as if drawn with a crayon. Lincoln sparrows have buff-colored submustachial stripe and upper breast and fine, sharp breast streaks as if drawn with a sharp pencil. The song of song sparrows is familiar across North America. The call note of song sparrows is a whiny chimp. The call note of Lincoln sparrows is a smacking check. Now you're ready to find and identify these birds. Click on this video separating eared and horned grebes.